Did you end up having a good round of golf?
I'd say it's the worst round I've played in quite a few years.
Wow.
And I think part of it is I was trying to make everybody else have a good time.
Yeah.
I was following Delaney, shooting the yardage. I was trying to, and then in golf, it's not a game that you can do that with. So,
right.
I mean, and what's really funny, I hit the ball down the fairway. I mean, I was hitting it well, just didn't make putts, didn't score when I had a chance. And greens were very tricky there. So if you didn't hit it on the right place on the green, it's hard to two-putt. And distraction. You can't be distracted on a golf course, man.
No.
That's my excuse and I'm going with it.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever considered professionally golfing?
That's a great question.
When I was 38.
Really?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I was getting
What
very
happened?
good.
Yeah.
I was getting very good, and I started to learn that the mind is where the game is. Everybody gets to a point, but it's your ability to block out negative and to really focus. There is a positive reinforcement that happens in golf, but there's a negative reinforcement too.
That's
You
right.
hit one bad shot, you better be able to recover quickly. And so I thought, man, I wonder what would happen if I just played this game like every day. And then I went to a tournament and got a wake-up call to reality of what kind of scores these guys are shooting.
Yeah.
No, do you know that if you shot par, even par, every round of golf on the PGA Tour, you couldn't stay.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no. You make no money and you'd never make the money list.
Right.
So these boys, and I mean, I'll go under par 1 out of every 5 rounds, but these guys do it all the time. There's an expectation.
Have to, yeah.
And you can't, there's no way. Even in these local tournaments, there are local SCGA tournaments.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're
No.
local, and I can play in them because my handicap's low enough. So if you're a member of a club, you get invited to them.
I think my brother does stuff like that as well, yeah.
And, but you just don't realize how good, well, people spend all their time. I mean, there are
Correct.
guys who play 7 days a week, and they're constantly working. And they say, what is it, 10,000 hours? Is it 10,000 hours that makes you a professional, so to speak? I think that might work on anything but golf.
Right.
Especially when you're fighting age.
Totally.
10,000 hours will make you a novice.
I can
Yeah,
tell you
that's
this,
right.
though. I enjoy the game more than I ever have now.
That's good.
Because there's low expectations.
That's what matters.
Yeah, I like your mustache, by the way. Or
Thank
is it
you.
your long hair? What's going on here?
You know what?
getting-
Ben has changed for season 2 as well. He turned 30, and
Yeah.
so there's a corner that he's turned.
Yeah.
The thing about
So
Ben
much change
is
for season
that
2.
The thing about Ben is he doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Just
Well, he can
this
do
way,
whatever.
that
He can
way.
walk in here in a bathrobe and look like $1 million. Now, not that I have a man crush on Ben. I
Yeah.
don't, believe me. It's just that some guys are just like that, aren't they?
That's right. They can do whatever they want.
Well, I decided that I was going to just grow more facial hair in my 30s
What's great about that is I thought you were
because I couldn't
joking.
before.
I thought you were joking when you
I still
said
kind
that.
of can't, but
Yeah.
But you're such a handsome guy. Why would you want to cover it up?
yeah, right.
That's what your wife told me to tell you. I'm just passing along the word. Don't shoot the messenger.
The thing, the face. So what I figured out is if I have like this mop that I have right now, long hair. If I don't have facial hair, I just look funny. I look like
I could see that.
I look
Yeah.
I look undecided.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, well, I gotta.
Or you don't look 30.
You just kind of you gotta sturdy it up a bit.
So how
Rough it
long
up.
are you going to go with the hair, man?
Well, the main reason was COVID and everything. I just hadn't gone to get my hair cut, and I'm not brave enough to do it myself. So I just haven't gone. And then it crossed the 8 month. I think I got it cut in December, and it's now October 2020. So
Yeah.
so it crossed like the 7-month mark, and I hadn't gotten a haircut, and I was just like, well, we're here.
Yeah.
So it's not this long that often. I've had it once before. Funny story about that. Last time I had long hair is I cut it the day that I knew I was going to meet my now wife.
Really?
Because I knew that we couldn't meet in the current condition I was in. I was like shaggy hair. I just, I was like, maybe she does like long hair, but there's a certain type, that long hair they're into. So I was like, well, we at least can't start on that foot. So let me just clean up. So I cut my hair. This is back in 2015, end of 2015, and cut my hair. we met.
You're looking a bit Orlando Bloomish.
You know who says
Wouldn't you
that?
say?
Yeah.
You know who says that all the time is Jeremiah.
Oh, really?
He's like, you got this, you got Orlando Bloom vibes.
There's fans.
Yeah.
But do you find that there has been, over the years, maybe in the last 100 years, let's just say, when it comes to Christianity, faith, the gospel, the spread of the gospel, some form of dogmatic ideology that has put how that does happen, how the spread of the gospel does happen, or how being a Christian, how it looks is a certain way. So maybe in its simplest form, do you find that there has been a limitation put on the Christian faith in the spread of the gospel? Maybe not necessarily specifically in the Midwest of America, but in let's just say America, because we're all Americans here. I know you've spent some time abroad, but let's just say in an American context, has there been a lid put on to where people are coming up to you saying, I thought it was supposed to look like this. Or I thought it was supposed to look like I was supposed to become a pastor and preach. And that was my, that was my jewel I was putting on my crown in your lifetime. Have you seen evidence of those things?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt whatsoever. And I'm sure I was caught up in that, have been caught up in that as well. You get a certain picture in your mind of how ministry should go. But I'm going to give you some encouragement. It's changing. This is what I probably learned most about my trip is I'm encouraged because people that I thought would never change are saying things like this: if we don't change and adapt, we are not going to get the gospel to this nation. Forget the world. We're not going to get it to this nation. And I would say, what do you mean? And they're saying, man, we've got this thing in social media where we can get the gospel out and people are watching, people are listening. We got to think about how we package, how we market, but also, Ben, even by the way that we think. I mean, why do we think that the way we do church is the only way to do church? What happened?
Ooh, that's a scary question.
What happened? I mean, I think one of the things, that's why I got frustrated during this when people kept saying, you're closed. And I said, what are you talking about? You think the opening of the Church of God requires a square building? And I was getting frustrated with that. Now, I understood they want to be together corporately, but even when we were doing the watch parties, see, this is what I've been sharing in the Midwest. I got to tell you, when 25 or 30 people are getting together and they're watching a message and they're praying together and then they're having a meal together, well, how dare we go back to first century Christianity? And, I know that's not popular, but I thought, I'm struggling in my own spirit. I'm trying to still figure this out. Is God did God, if everything ultimately, God I know takes a disadvantage, turns it into an advantage, uses it for his glory. But think about it. What has been attacked during this time? Our money, our liberty to travel, and primarily our ability to get together in large groups. And I wonder sometimes if God says, this is the only way I'm going to fix my church, man. This is the only way I'm going to fix it. I'm going to have to let this happen so that you guys get a grip. It's about community and discipleship. And we got to stop playing this numbers game where we think success is measured by how many people get in the box. Because here's what happens. There's a cause and effect to that. Then I start making decisions based on how many people are getting in the box. And then I start getting my significance out of how many people I get in the box.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, as a pastor, I'm using people as a means to an end. And every time I say that, people don't like that, and even my fellow pastor friends don't like it. But I told you when I went through my anxiety disorder 2.5 years ago, I could care less anymore. I just want to do what's right. And so I'm struggling with getting back because I'm afraid that people who are in those communities will go back to the old way of living. Well, what was happening in the old way of living? We're doing 5-6 services a weekend. You're killing yourself. You're trying to meet everybody's needs, all for what? Now, there is a purpose for corporate worship. Look, I want to be together with my Christ followers.
Of course.
But I'm not sure the method, I'm not sure the pattern that we've been in is a healthy one for people who are in ministry. And I'm not sure it's healthy as we are enabling people to become more of consumers and then no transformation. And I'm not judging individuals. I'm saying in my life as a whole.
Yeah.
What am I doing? And so kind of open up the can there with that question. But you'll be glad to know, you might be sad to know, yes, you're right. This pattern has been happening for a long time, but it's changing.
Yeah.
No, that's good. And I'm encouraged by that.
Yep.
And sometimes it takes a kick in the behind,
Yeah.
and sometimes it takes,
which this has been.
yeah. And
The coronavirus, yeah.
well, hey, globally too.
Totally.
Which is really helpful when it's not just your immediate context.
Yeah.
Ben, if I can just say, you said something a few minutes ago, and I thought, yeah. If I thought the totality of my ministry was in a box,
Ooh.
I would have left. I think I wouldn't have been able to remain, because I know what you can do out there with resources. And I'll tell you, the thing that has given me new life is the fact that these little one and all groups can rise up all over the world.
Man.
And it's okay for 30 people to get together in a community center or a home and to invest in each other's lives and to grow from the word and to worship together, pray together, and have a meal together. I started thinking about, tell me, when in recent history have we been most like the original church? Isn't it during COVID? To a large degree, isn't it during COVID? When people got together again and needed each other and prayed for each other and had a meal together.
Totally. I mean, and not even in the Christian context. I mean, I think about people that just, Andrew Blankenship, he goes to One and All here, like just making daily Costco runs for the elderly that don't want to leave, like for his neighbors, right? Like just delivering, and he is a Christian, but the neighborly community that we saw during this pandemic, just looking and turning who is around you in your immediate circle. Like you're not going to go on a plane to another state, another country. You're just forced to be here, and who is literally around you, and the humanity, like the beautiful humanity that we saw in and out of the church in this season. Yeah, never been more like that older context of what church used to be.
I learned, I've said this numerous times, I learned a few years ago that as I look out over the congregation as someone who stands on a stage every weekend, somewhere along the line I realized that you cannot manipulate or coerce people into discipleship or into spirituality of any kind. The things that we're all looking for are byproducts of falling in love with Jesus.
Wow.
So my job is to just keep giving you Jesus. And hopefully over time, sometimes along the long, you'll fall in love with him. And when you do, you'll be passionate about being with God's people. You'll be passionate about the word. You'll be passionate about prayer. And that is, it almost like are we the church of Ephesus? Are we Laodicea? The answer is yes, all seven.
Yeah.
and the church has always been all seven. There's something about every church that we find indicative. And I hope and pray, while we're on this topic, and I don't know who, I always get in trouble, but isn't that what podcasts are about?
Hey.
Controversy.
Gotta get it out there.
Let me tell you something. My heart breaks because sometimes on a weekend I'll look behind I'll be on the front row and I'll look behind, and it's like you don't want to be judgmental, but the feeling and the look that it's almost indicative of people who are, okay, get this over with. What time is it? Where is the moving of the Spirit of God in your life where you're so grateful that you can come and sing His and praise His name? And please don't talk to me about the music I can worship with anything, because it's not it's about the fact that I'm here to meet God. And sometimes I wonder if we have to have that removed from us, the ability to do that, until we appreciate it again. The question is, has it been long enough?